Girl, Michelle D.I., Mrs. Divine Intervention herself. To all my helper bees out there, you know who you are. Those that are always helping everyone else and neglecting yourself. Yes, boo, look in the mirror. I'm talking to you. Here to let you know God has not forgotten about you. I've been sent on divine assignment. It's time for Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free. That means 30 minutes for your mind, your body, spirit, and emotions. And don't act like you don't have time. You have time for everyone and everything else. Sit back and relax because if you're here, that means this show is for you or it's for someone you know. But most likely, it's for both of y'all. Deep breaths, love. Let's go. Hey family, hey family, hey family. It is your girl, Michelle Allen Franklin. Yes, Mrs. Michelle D.I. Why? You know, boo, for divine intervention, because there are no coincidences in this world. Only God's divine intervention in our lives. And Mrs. Community Builder, why? Because you know your girl's going to give you the good information, the things you need for your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions. And you know, if you're hearing my voice, yes, honey, that means it's Monday. It is Monday. Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free. We on the radio, honey. Yes. And your girl is always so excited about it. Y'all, the month is going. It is going on by. It is November the 17th, 2025. And if you're not ready for Thanksgiving, baby, I'm going to tell you what, you better get ready because it's coming. It is coming, honey. You have 10 days. Look, 10 days to get yourself together for Thanksgiving. You have 10 days. And then just what? Less than 6 weeks. You know, exactly 6 weeks at this point till Christmas. You better, yeah, listen, get yourself together. As I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me. Get yourself together, honey. Oh, y'all know I am just so happy and excited to be here. We have been on this self-love journey since August, y'all. We have been rolling. I'm so grateful that you've been rolling with your girl. I've been getting a lot of great feedback. I thank you for each and every person. I'm grateful that has taken the time to call in, to send me a message, to call me, to say, something that has been said has helped them, has helped a family member. Just call for more information. Calling for yourself, it just makes my spirit, it fills my spirit. It just really brings me joy. Your girl is one. I just don't feel like my information all the time is not for everyone, but I do feel like it is for, like I said, who? It's for you, boo, if you listening. It's for you, or if it's for someone that you know, or most likely it's for both of y'all. Your girl deals with all things mental health that has to do with breaking the stigma associated with Christians and this mental health walk. It is one of those things that I just really just honed in on and said, Lord, what do you want me to do after I spiraled from depression, anxiety, started having panic attacks after my big mom and my stepfather passed away back in 2015. I didn't know what was happening. Your girl's been a nurse for 25 years. At that point, it was close to 20 years, but I still didn't know what was happening, right? And so I thought, Lord, if I'm suffering with this thing, and I suffered for way too long, for at least 2 years before I feel like I got a hold of it and realized what was happening and started really being intentional about my journey. I thought, Lord, if I'm suffering, how many people are out there are suffering? And then, I don't know if you heard this or not, but, Christians, if you have depression, what that mean? You don't believe in God? What's wrong with you? You didn't pray that away? Did you go up to the altar? God can't fix that for you. We so judgmental, right? And so it brings this shame. It brings this shame. And so people can't even, be open and honest about that thing. But one of the what's coming to pass now is that I'm happy to see that there are more talks about it, when I first started this a few years ago, 7, 8 years ago, there wasn't many people. There wasn't a lot of resources in Tyler. Now there's a lot more resources here in Tyler. And as well as just people being open and transparent and being able to talk about it, because you don't have to suffer. And that's my point and my purpose, is that you don't have to suffer. You're not alone. The statistics say 1 in 8 people will suffer from some mental anguish. That is depression, anxiety, a mixture of both, PTSD, panic attacks in their lifetime. That's 1 in 8. Look around in your church on Sunday morning. 1 in 5 right now, today, are suffering from depression or anxiety. 1 in 5. Look around at your church. At everyone that's smiling, at everyone that's laughing, right? And pretending that they're okay when they're not. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what your girl is here to do, to break this, just break the stigma, to bring some voice to it, to bring a visual to it. Because if you look at your girl, I look, yeah, I look nice. I think I look nice. I'm smiling all the time. I'm laughing, but in my darkest days, no one knew what I was going through. And so I pray, my goal is to reach back and grab you if you're going through, honey, to let you know that you are not alone. You don't have to suffer, right? You can make a choice to decide to do something else. There is help out there for you. For anyone that's going through anything immediate right now, you need someone to talk to. 988 is not only the suicide crisis hotline, but it is the mental health hotline. NAMI, NAMI, Tyler is here and is a local resource. And they have a national hotline as well. But you go to their website, NAMI, NAMI.org. And no matter where you are, they have resources, they have classes, they have support groups. And so I just want to lay that out there. Now, one of the things we talked about last week was seasonal affective disorder. Seasonal affective disorder. Somebody said, what? Say who? Yeah, that is sometimes when the season is changing. Sometimes when the holidays are coming, people are not as happy, right? Something happens, your mood starts shifting. You don't realize that you're hitting the snooze button a little bit longer. You are, just feeling tired and down, and you really don't have a reason for it. That seasonal affective disorder, it will be available. The replay will be available today on the YouTube channel. That is Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free. Reflections Choosing Me Guilt Free. That will be available later on today. If you missed it, I got you, boo. I got you. All of the replays that we have done this year, and that is, do I have PTSD? Do I have depression? Do I have anxiety? The testing for it, to know what your score, what your number is, your health issues, it is all intertwined. The importance, men, of getting checked out, knowing what those numbers are, right? We've covered a lot, emotional disorders, and I'm very, very proud of that. I realized the other day I was kind of looking back, and y'all, this is show 34, number 34 this year. And so I am blessed and just grateful that God is using me as a vessel. The Sharon with Sharon show, Bishop Timmons was on, and he was talking about being chosen in your mother's womb, being chosen. And I thought about that thing, and I feel like that's me. When my mom was pregnant with me, she prayed that I would use my voice, right? And I heard that story so many times, and I didn't realize. I thought it was just kind of, standing up for people and standing up for myself, but more so standing up for others, right? To be able to use my voice in that way. I had no idea that I would do this spiral, and then God will come back and use my voice to teach and educate people and break stigma, and to not be ashamed, and be a voice for people that can't be a voice for themselves, right? That don't really have the words to say, yeah, I do feel that way. That's a blessing. That is a blessing. So Your girl is sitting here grateful. Today, what we doing today? Today, we are going into, last week we talked about SAD, the seasonal affective disorder. This week, I thought, we talked about the season. Let's talk about some ways that we can trick our brains if you're going through that, or if sometimes you just kind of feeling some kind of way, right? How can you trick your brain into being happy when you're feeling a little sad? Right? Your girl just like to give you things just a little different. You won't hear anything else like this. No, you won't. You won't hear anything else like this anywhere else because that's what I pride myself in doing. I'm just approaching it, attacking it in a different way. So let's get into it. Today, we're going to talk about this real issue because everybody is sad sometimes. We all have sad moments. We all have low energy days. We all have heavy seasons. Everyone is not happy about the holidays, right? And even when it's nothing wrong, you just like, I just feel funky today. I don't know what it is. And sometimes we just need a mental shift, right? We need a spiritual shift, a biochemical shift, right? Because sometimes what I realized when I was going through that I was so empty. I pour and pour and pour. Us givers, right? I call us the helper bees of the world. We're giving. We pour and pour and pour to the extent that we're empty. And so then there is really a chemical imbalance that is happening because we're so empty, right? You're so empty that you can't just fill up. Your normal ways of things that will make you happy may not work. And so today we're talking about ways to trick your brain into feeling happier. So think about this. Your brain loves patterns, right? So when sadness is kind of staying around too long, your brain starts thinking that that is normal. It's like, oh, this what we doing? Oh, okay. Well, we're going to be sad. So we're going to teach today about interrupting the sadness, shaking up the emotional patterns, activating our happy endorphins, those happy chemicals, and creating relief even before our circumstances change. Because sometimes you're stuck in a situation, but that doesn't mean that you have to feel and you have to stay mentally in that situation. You might be physically, I don't have any money. I lost my job. Things are doing this or whatever else. I'm at a job I'm not really happy at, but I have to go to work. I haven't found anything yet, and it's messing with your spirit. Things like that. So this part is called self-care. It's part of self-care and it's part of self-love. So this is your serotonin levels versus your dopamine levels. These are two different hormones that we have that make us happy, but they make us happy in different ways. So your serotonin is just that calm happy. Your serotonin is the chemical of peace. It is the chemical of stability. It is the chemical of contentment, of emotional balance, of feeling grounded and worthy. The serotonin happy feels like I'm okay, I'm enough, I'm safe, I belong. Can you relate? And this comes from sunlight. It comes from deep breathing. It comes from practicing gratitude. It comes from healthy routines. It comes from self-respect. It comes from keeping promises to yourself. That is one of the biggest things that you can do that will affect your spirit. That is a foundational thing. You may have been in a situation where you don't even trust yourself because you haven't been showing up for yourself, right? I'm going to do XYZ, and you get up and don't do it. That does something to your spirit. And so what you say you're going to do for yourself, for me, I wasn't even putting myself on the list. And when I did put myself on the list, I was the first one to come off the list. If I had a checklist I got to do for everyone else, and everyone else's thing consumed all the time, and then I was just busy, I took myself off the list. No, stop taking yourself off the list. Keeping promises to yourself affects your serotonin level, and it marks that self-love journey, right? So, because it is built from internal habits, it's not external validation, right? It's not an external stimulation. Dopamine, on the other hand, is excited happy. Dopamine is the chemical of motivation, it's the chemical of reward, it's the chemical of pleasure, it's the quick hits of joy, it's energy, excitement. Dopamine feels like, oh, that feels good. I want to do that again, right? So this comes from checking things off your list. This comes from fun activities. This comes from hugs, music, dancing. It comes from putting yourself into new experiences, maybe doing something that you want to do that you haven't done, right? I know when I initially, started practicing this some years ago, I decided that I was just going to go to a show, right? The first thing that I did, I decided I was going to go to a show. And I was like, you know what? I love New Edition. And so for me, the year, this not for the super saved. This not for the super saved for today. Just stay with me. But the year that Gerald Levert died, I was a huge Gerald Levert fan. Okay. And he came to Baltimore every year, Valentine's Day. And I was working all the time. Every year he came, I would say, man, I wish I would have took off. Man, I should have took off. I should have took off. So the year that he passed, that year, that fall, he was on all the award shows. And I was watching him perform at this last show that he actually performed at. And I said to myself, this was in the fall, like October, November. And I said, I am going to that show this year. And the man passed away. And I was so heartbroken. Oh my goodness. And so, but I said to myself, it was a lesson, right? It was a lesson like, you know what? New Edition is my favorite group. And I had been doing the same thing with New Edition. So I said, you know what? I'm going to make a point that every time that I say I'm going to go to a show, a play, whatever it is, right? And this is whatever makes you happy, right? It may be something, an event that you want to attend, an event that you've been saying you're going to go to. I made up in my mind, whenever New Edition comes, I am going to that show. I'm going to take off and I'm going to go, because we take time in life for granted. I just assumed, right, that Gerald was going to be there. What are you assuming? What are you taking for granted that's going to be there? Do it today. I have a pastor whom I love, Sister Shirley Thomas, Eldris Shirley Thomas, excuse me. She had an event every year. And I said, man, I was working and I went to her very first, like her church anniversary. And I said, man, I'm going to go to her anniversary next year. Well, what happened? She passed away shortly thereafter of her event. Within a couple of weeks of the last event, she passed away. And again, it is, what are we taking for granted? What are you taking for granted, family? And so you got to do the things. We can't get so trapped in work. I was so consumed in working. Got to make the money. Got to pay this. Got to do this. I'm working to pay the bills, not living. Who is this for today, Lord? Who is this for today? Are you working, just working, and you're not enjoying life, family? I'm going to come back. Dopamine is the things that make you happy, right? So checking things off the list, fun activities, music, dancing, new experiences, and completing a goal. Dopamine is the chemical of self-care because it is created from small actions that make you feel alive again, right? When I went next year after Gerald died, New Edition came around my birthday that year. Didn't I go? And went by myself, had an amazing time. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes when you take people with you to events, they mess the event up for you. They talking crazy. They don't enjoy it like you enjoy it. Or take someone with you that's gonna enjoy the event like you gonna enjoy the event. Or go by yourself, right? And see what that like. I had never done that before. When I tell you I had the best time, why? Because everybody in the building loved New Edition. So yes, I had a great time. You will be surprised. So we're moving into self-love versus self-care. And so again, self-care gives you the dopamine hit. Dopamine is short-term joy. Self-love, which is that serotonin hit, is long-term peace. Oh, peace. Uh-huh. You need both. Not one or the other. Mm-mm. Serotonin builds your foundation and dopamine adds the spark. Yes. And so, again, 10 ways to trick your brain into happiness. Let's get into it. Touching the sunlight, that is a serotonin boost. Just 10 minutes a day can trigger your internal I am okay chemical being in your body. The sun hitting your face. I don't know about you, but it is something about the sun rays and the way that they shine. And I look up and it's just like God's voice is talking to me. And I could hear it when the sun rays are coming down on me. It's almost like God is hugging me himself. The sun rays, I can feel them wrapping around me, and it is, you're okay. You're okay. Right? So taking the time to say, to activate, right, those internal triggers, I'm okay. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is just step outside and let God touch your skin. Yes. Let that sun ray wrap you around. Number 2, do a 30-second smile. Now, this might sound crazy to some people because you're like, well, I might not have anything to smile about. And some people always are like, why are you laughing all the time? What's funny? Because I find joy and I find laughter in some things people might not feel as funny, but I'm always thinking about where God has brought me from, and the darkness that I was in, and then I get joy in my spirit because I'm not there anymore, and so it brings me, I'm always laughing, I'm always right joyous, but smiling, even if it's a fake smile. Because sometimes you don't feel like smiling, but smiling, even when it's a fake smile, it tells your brain we're okay. It releases tiny amounts of serotonin and dopamine. Number 3, changing your scenery. Just move to another room. This is one of the biggest things, especially if you're going through a season where you're feeling so overwhelmed. Maybe your house isn't as clean as you would like it to be because you haven't really had the energy. You're doing all of the things and you're coming home and crashing. Or even if you're coming home, you don't feel like cleaning up, right? And so your room might be all crazy. Maybe the house doesn't look its best, and you're trying to still be positive and productive. Sometimes you have to just change the scenery, right? Get up and go to Starbucks or somewhere that has Wi-Fi and do some work. My therapist actually told me this, uh, a couple weeks ago. Get out of the house, just change the scenery. And I've done that in the past, so I know that it works, right? Just step outside, shift your position, get up and walk around. If you're at work and you're like, I gotta stay here. Well, sometimes at work when I would be feeling a little overwhelmed, I would turn that phone off. I would go in the bathroom, look in the mirror, say my little prayer, say me some affirmations, take me some breaths, right? Sometimes I get up, walk upstairs, go to the snack machine just to, take a break. Because sometimes we're just sitting in that thing for so long and you feel stuck in it, and it's affecting your spirit. So you have to interrupt the sadness pattern, right? Number 4 is play a song that raises your energy. Excuse me. Music is dopamine on demand. When I was having my panic attacks, one of the first things, and this is what I teach people that have any kind of anxiety, panic attacks, find your favorite song. church song, whatever kind of song it is. I talk to y'all all the time about going back to childhood, finding those favorite songs, right? I made a playlist of my favorite songs when I was really deep in it, and just to get out of the bed in the morning. And that helped me get up and get motivated, get in the shower and get ready for my day. It's just to have me a good playlist of the Clark sisters and, all those great songs that reminded me of my mother and driving to church on Sunday morning. But playing a song raises when I'm going through panic attacks. Mine's is Ty Tribbett. There's a young man in Dallas that mimes. I love dancing. So he mimes, and he mimes to God will work it out. Doesn't matter what the problem, God will work it out. And when I tell you that boy is miming, I wish I could think of his name. I'm going to post it. When I post this, I'll attach it to the description so you can see what I'm talking about. But the boy was amazing. So every time I was kind of having a panic attack or found myself in it, it instantly brought me joy. I had 3 of them. I'll attach all of them to this description when I post this. Number 5 is drinking cold water. Cold water, a cold temperature just shocks your nervous system and alertness and just brings you back into this emotional reset. Number 6 is gratitude. A gratitude switch. Say it out loud. One thing that's good, one thing that's working, one thing that makes me smile. What is one thing that makes you smile? One thing that's good, one thing that's working, and one thing that makes you smile. That's in the midst of crazy, right? You can always get to gratitude. If you're just in a crazy, funky situation, you find yourself just negative. I had to join a gratitude class a couple years ago because my attitude was just funky. I just couldn't. I was just being so ill about everything. Everything was, I was complaining all the time. I was like, girl, what is going on? We got to get back. This is not us, right? So I took a gratitude class. If you need example, I have it on the YouTube channel, Reflections Choosing Me. It is called Faith Walk. That is 30 days of gratitude. Each day it's a gratitude practice. There's a book. I wish I could think of the name right now, but I'll tag that also in the description when I post this one on the channel. Number 7 is doing something small and finish it. Just as small as folding a towel, making your bed, washing the dishes. That just completing something gives you a dopamine hit. That really does work. Number 8, hug yourself or someone else. Y'all, we take hugs for granted. I am a hugger. I am a hugger. I had a young girl who had been through so much trauma and things. And I remember meeting her, and I hugged everyone in the room, and they were like, oh, she doesn't hug. And I said, oh, well, I was like, well, your girl hugs. So come on in here, girl, give me a hug. I need some of this love. And gave her a hug because my spirit told me to do that. Now, you can't do that with everyone. Some people, respect their boundaries, but it was something in my spirit that told me that this baby needed a hug. When I tell you, she leaned into that hug. And every time I see her now, she's coming to me to give me that hug. And she is so much better. And so hugging releases oxytocin, which boosts serotonin and lowers stress. Number 9 is practicing deep breathing. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds to hold, and 6 seconds out. Breathing calms your nervous system and raises the serotonin levels. And then the last one is speaking life over yourself. Affirmations. And the peace of God shall guard your heart and your mind. That's serotonin levels are written all in the Bible, family. Your girl is out of time. And so join me on Reflections Choosing Me Guilt-Free. You will find the replay and other things to help you with your mind, your body, and your spirit. Intervention. Thank you for tuning in to Reflections Choosing Me Guilt-Free with your girl, Miss Michelle D.I. Every week, we will have the uncomfortable but necessary conversations as it relates to your mind, your body, your spirit, and emotions. You've suffered long enough. It's time to break free. So join me every Monday at 1 p.m. right here on KGLD Radio, where you can fill your spirit with gospel all day long. See you next week. Well, family, this has been a thank you for